Welcome to SVG TV News for Tuesday, October 4th, 2022. I am Rochelle Baptiste with the details. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment is reporting an increase in the number of gastroenteritis cases in St. Vincent and the Grenadines over the past few weeks. According to the ministry, acute gastroenteritis is an inflammation of the stomach and the intestines and may be caused by viruses, bacteria, parasites, among others. Gastroenteritis is spread by direct contact with an infected person, by consuming contaminated food or water, or by touching contaminated surfaces, then putting your unwashed hands in your mouth. The ministry says symptoms of gastroenteritis include vomiting, which may or may not be accompanied by diarrhea, stomach pain, and fever. In most cases, gastroenteritis is a self-limited illness. However, children and the elderly are most susceptible to complications such as dehydration and should therefore be monitored closely. Signs of dehydration include decreased urination, dry mouth, crying with few or no tears, or feeling drowsy or sleepy. To prevent the spread of gastroenteritis, the ministry is urging persons to practice good hand hygiene by washing hands frequently and thoroughly with soap and water, especially after vomiting or after a bowel movement and before meals. Wash fruits and vegetables thoroughly before consumption. Sanitize surfaces and objects frequently to eliminate the virus or bacteria. It is recommended that when sanitizing, you use 1 teaspoonful of bleach, 2 cups of water. Avoid going to work or school until the symptoms have passed if you are vomiting or have diarrhea. Avoid sharing cutlery or utensils. Persons are also asked to please seek medical attention at their nearest health centers if their conditions does not improve or if there are signs of dehydration. Thanking the public for its continued support, the Ministry of Health says it will continue to put measures in place to monitor and address the increase in cases of gastroenteritis on island. The requirement of testing of persons arriving here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines was dropped last month by the government. Why then does the requirement for testing of unvaccinated public servants continue? This question was put to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves by journalist Kenton Chance at a news conference today. In his reply, the Prime Minister says the requirement for testing remains for one critical area: teaching and vaccination for healthcare workers, including nurses. The Prime Minister says his government is acting on the advice of the Health Services Subcommittee of the National Emergency Management Organization (NEMO), headed by the Chief Medical Officer, who performs a role under the law, and it appears by the Cabinet to be sensible advice.
That, or put it this way, is not unreasonable advice. I tell you something, Kenton. When somebody is obliged in law to advise me, I am very careful not to reject reasonable advice, even if it's advice which I may not agree with. It's an important point. People feel that if the advice, if you disagree with it, that advice which is being tendered to you is unreasonable. No, you may disagree with it, but it doesn't mean that it is unreasonable. You have a reasonable basis. And you know, the issue concerning children, you know, in the educational system and the other staff members, it's a matter which is felt in the circumstances to still have formally in place. We can have a debate on it, but it's a question of, and you may not agree with it, Kenton, but I don't think you can reasonably say that an advice which is so tendered is unreasonable.
Vendors at the Kingston Fish Market withdrew their services today for the second time as they continue to protest against new requirements expected in their operations at the market. The Kingston Fish Market recently sent out a memorandum to the vendors stating an increase of certain goods and services supplied to them. The vendors are not pleased with the measures taken by the management of the fish market, noting their concern for their customers as they say a recommendation has been made for them to sell certain fish up to $15 a pound to help offset some of the new costs for their operation at the market.
Price they want, we can't pay that, so with the outside here we ain't selling. We decide not to sell until they call a meeting with us and then we get everything straightened out. Because this is site of wickedness. No part in the Caribbean. You see, the fish market, the people them who in charge of the fish market, giving vendors no competition. It's only Simville alone, them kind of thing that taking place. I go in Grenada, it's 5 cents a paying for landing toll. 5 cents. And in Simville, it's 20 cents and 10 cents, and now they're raising them to 15 and 30. Them kind of thing, this wickedness. Everybody have family to feed, and we know how the place going already. But what we go do? Thief?
We can't afford to just come here, do business and don't make no money. If we come here and we do business, we're supposed to do business to make a profit, not a loss. They want to raise everything for us. We're just making like $2 a pound over every fish that we sell. If we sell 100 pounds of fish, that's $200 we're making. And they want we to pay them $115 of the $200, and that's absolute wickedness to vendors. Look, this is the second day, everybody outside. Look at the cameraman, show the people them face. Just show the people them face how they here suffering, just through bad management.
With us locally. And so they had it to start selling, but every vendor is out of the market. And we're hoping to continue for the rest of the week. And if nothing done, we're going into next week. I mean, we're doing it peacefully, and we don't want any violence, but then next week, if nobody hears us, maybe we have to buy some trains and start to lock gate, and if they want cut off and lock gate, and the police might come in. So we don't really want that. We want them to pay us some attention, because this is really too high. Look at the state of this economy. Can the consumer buy fish at $12 and $15 a pound? Because my customers are poor people here. Me have a rich man customer. So my customer and them can't buy fish for $12 and $15 per pound. When a five-member family come, 2 pounds of fish can supply a 5-member family not one meal, and it's very hard.
And President of the National Fisherfolk Organization, Winsbert Harry, said that the fish market vendors and fishermen need a conversation with the authorities to address the situation. He said since the memo was handed out to them on September 28th, no official from the market or government has come forward to speak to them on the matters outlined in the document, and that they are left confused and angry.
I see some elderly person come today to say, oh God, son, we can't buy this fish here for $15 and oh God, all it is. But what we can do, we cannot do nothing about it, is the input warehouse is we causing this here now, and then they're not speaking to us. Like, it going through one days and going through the next days. And I think somebody need to come and speak with the vendors, speak with the fishers. Let us have a conversation, because I heard them saying, and repeat myself, this is the fishing industry, and we have to grow the fishing industry together. We cannot have this tug-of-war within the industry. So what we really want is a growing industry. We want people really to understand what is taking place within the industry, and it is very unfair to the vendors, it's very disrespectful for the vendors, it's very unfair to the fishermen, and very disrespectful to the fishermen, because we are all feeling it. Gas is $18 and 87 cents. And then if you go rent a counter now, each vendor used to pay $115 a day. And now they have to pay almost $170. So they're going to be working for $25 a day. But you could tell somebody come for work for $25 a day. And then the fisherman only might get $10 a day. It's really hard for a vendor to come here whole day and stand up and work for $25 a day. I feel it very unfair.
Harry noted that the protest action will continue until the fish market vendors and fishermen are provided with a reasonable price so that they can continue to sell fish at an affordable cost to the public.
You see some elderly person come today to say, oh God, son, we can't buy this fish here for $15 and oh God, all it is. But what we can do, we cannot do nothing about it, is the input warehouse is we causing this here now and then they're not speaking to us. Like, it going through one ears and going through the next ears. And I think somebody need to come and speak with the vendors, speak with the fishers. Let us have a conversation, because I heard them saying, and repeat myself, this is the fishing industry and we have to grow the fishing industry together. We cannot have this tug-of-war within the industry. So what we really want is a growing industry. We want people really to understand what is taking place within the industry. And it is very unfair to the vendors, it's very disrespectful for the vendors, it's very unfair to the fishermen and very disrespectful to the fishermen, because we are all feeling it. Gas is $18.87. And then if you go rent a counter now, each vendor used to pay $115 a day. And now they have to pay almost $170. So they're going to be working for $25 a day. But you could tell somebody come for work for $25 a day. And then the fisherman only might get $10 a day. It's really hard for a vendor to come here whole day and stand up and work for $25 a day. I feel it very unfair.
And Prime Minister Dr. Raul Gonzalez at a news conference today tells the fish market vendors that protesting is not going to decrease the market expenses and urges the protesters to be more reasonable. The Prime Minister said that though the goods and services at the Kingston Fish Market will be increased, the market will still see a loss of over $200,000.
You notice, I'm a man of reasonableness, always. But persons who are protesting, I'm just asking for them to be reasonable too. By protesting doesn't mean you ain't change the price of electricity, you know. You think the diesel gone down because you protest? You think the water gone down if you protest? You think the chlorine which we import, gone down? Or the bleach or other detergents, you think they gone down? Protest can't bring those down, you know. And now you want to tell me, you get into the hyperbole by saying the fish is $10 a pound, people go have to pay $15. Any of these numbers indicate to you that you have to pay $15 a pound. Because you're moving from $10 to $15. I saw some reports on that. That's a 50% jump. An item with a reasonable size base, $10. No, per pound, you know, everybody must be reasonable.
Prime Minister Gonzalez further notes that the fish market loses money every month and that at the end of last year, the market recorded a loss of some $300,000 in the audited accounts. Outlining the goods and services at the fish market, PM Gonzalez says over 10 years, nothing at the fish market has been raised.
The sale for the ice has gone up because the electricity cost has gone up. That's the principal reason. Now, I ask on an annual basis what this would bring in. They said on an annual basis about $75,000. So you're still losing, even when you put up these, over $200,000 based on last year's figures. And overall with the input warehouse, you could maybe stand losses of $15,000 a month. But when you reach in 25 and 30, it starts to squeeze you more because of how things are. So I want everybody to understand the overall approach, the way in which we in the the government address these things. I'm not.
The Prime Minister, however, says he will speak to the management of the fish market to see if they can reduce prices on the landing fee for some fish.
I'm going to ask them if, on the landing toll in particular, whether they could reduce the extent here. For some of the types of fish and all of them. I'm not saying it's not reasonable, And even with the increases, you're still losing money there. And if you're losing money there, the money has to come from elsewhere in the input warehouse. And then when you input warehouse, losing when the problem there with the fertilizer. And in order to keep the price with the fertilizer, the central government had to subsidize it. That is to say, whom? The taxpayers.
On another matter, Prime Minister Gonzalez says any government which thinks St. Vincent and the Grenadines may be helpful in any matter to resolve or facilitate in the resolution of any conflict or difficulty, SVG is always willing to help, as we are friends of all. This was his response to a question posed at today's news conference on a report in the media over the weekend of a prisoner exchange between Venezuela and the USA. The Prime Minister was asked to confirm the location of the exchange, whether it was Argyle or Canawan. When did SVG enter the negotiations as the exchange point? What qualifies SVG as the most suitable neutral country for the exchange? And whether it was the first time that SVG has facilitated such exchange. This was the Prime Minister's response as he noted the policy of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines has encapsulated in its mantra, "Friends of all, we strive for a better world."
St. Vincent and the Grenadines will never, however, go about and say what it is doing or not doing in any of these respects, unless it is necessary and desirable to do so in all the circumstances and with the consent and agreement of anyone in which we have been involved in any matter regarding peace, good relations between states, security and progress. Given what I've just said, I will neither confirm nor deny what you particularly asked. I stated the general position of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The 2022 Independence Program of Activities was launched here today by the National Independence Committee at a CDC conference room at Victoria Park. This is the 43rd year of SVG's independence, and Chair Ashford Wood says the celebrations this year will be different as it comes at a time when the country is coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic and the eruption of La Soufrière volcano. Samantha Bonnet and her husband have been announced as the winner of the Independence Team 2022. Mrs. Bonnet spoke at today's launching event on how they came up with the team.
We saw the advertisement in the newspaper, yes, and I brought it to my husband's attention. I told him I think that we should enter. Okay, we sat down and we came up with 3 teams. My husband is the one that chose the winning team. How we came up to this team? If you take a look back for the past 2 years, we have gone through COVID-19. We have also gone through the volcanic eruption. And we made it through. We made it through. So Vincentians, we are a courageous people. We are a resilient people. So the theme for our 43rd National Independence is our resilience, our fortitude, our people.
The Bonnets will receive a cash prize of $500 EC from the National Independence Committee and an invitation to all of the official independence activities. Speaking on the Independence Church service to be held on Sunday, October 23rd, Bishop the Right Reverend Leopold Friday says the service will be at the St. George's Cathedral in Kingston from 4 p.m. Noting as the country celebrates 43 years of independence, it is important to focus on our spirituality.
Because any nation must have that source of spiritual values which it focuses on, along with the other things that help to make us who we are. We hope that our Governor General will be present and also Prime Minister and leader of the opposition. And as a national service, we think that it should have some prominence, and so we hope that all parliamentarians will be present and all Vincentians as much as possible would seek to come to this service to give praise and thanks to God for our 43rd anniversary of independence and to reflect our gratefulness to him for his guidance over the years, and especially, as our team says, for our resilience, our fortitude, and our people. The preacher at this service will be the superintendent of the Methodist Church, Kingston, the Reverend Philbert Delaney, and we'll have the services organized by the churches in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we extend an invitation to all to this service.
The Lions Club National Secondary Schools Public Speaking Competition also forms part of the calendar of activities for the National Independence Celebrations. Junior backers of the Lions Club South says so far they have 17 of the 26 secondary schools in 4 zones participating in the preliminaries, which started today at the French's House.
And I must commend those teachers and principals for those schools who have seen it fit to participate this year. I wasn't expecting the type of turnout that we are going to have over the next 3 days, but I'm really pleased with the effort of those teachers. One little disappointment though, I'm seeing that grammar school, St. Vincent Grammar School, is not part of this year's preliminary. That's the first time in my being a part of public speaking, I'm not seeing the St. Vincent Grammar School. But public speaking really is a very important event for the nation, for the children. I'll just highlight 2 of the objectives of public speaking. 1, to provide a forum for the discussion of issues of national interest, and 2, to raise the awareness of current issues affecting the nation to our youths and the people as a whole.
Finals of the Lions Club National Secondary Schools Public Speaking Competition will be held on Tuesday, October 25th at the Methodist Church Hall. Dr. Daniston Cole of the SVG Medical Association thanked the National Independence Committee for including their breast cancer awareness activities in the Independence Program this year.
On Friday, October 7th, we will have a pink cake sale. So yes, pink cake. We're going to be selling literally just that. And that will start at 10 in the morning until 3 p.m. right at the hospital entrance. So anybody could come by, feel a little famished, feel a little peckish, you can come and get some cake. On Friday the 21st of October, that's when we have our signature event. That is the Pink Cap City Walk. That usually this is something that we would usually have every year, but of course COVID and so on, that has been postponed. So usually we would begin at the Heritage Square. We want to step off, that means we want to start at 3:30 p.m. We are going to be accompanied by the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Band. So we will start at Heritage Square, we will go on we'll go on Bay Street down to Higginson Street. We'll come up back on Back Street and we return to Heritage Square. And there we'll have our rally. Usually it's a short enough rally, We share messages of hope with a small, brief cultural package. So all of that would be involved.
A major activity to be hosted by the SVG Medical Association for the Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a 5K Pink Walk Run on October 23rd, 2022. Meanwhile, Chief Health Promotions Officer Shanika John says on October 22nd, SVG will launch at the Annisville Playing Field Vinci Moves, a regional initiative.
This is particularly symbolic as it represents one of the most significant components as we move people across St. Vincent and the Grenadines during the month of our independence. Some of the activities would include island relays, walkathons, health village, stakeholder consultations, training, and a lot of fun activities that would center at the Annisville Playing Field, but would have activities commemorating from different parts of the country, including the Grenadines. The Vinci Move program is designed to be a comprehensive health promotion campaign that really embraces the Charter of Health Promotion and utilizes all of its tenets to vibrant, sustainable behavior change model to tackle all the risk factors of non-communicable diseases, which are 95% of the time preventable. The program is expected to expand beyond a year with a variety of activities which would include capacity building, system strengthening, and the enforcement of supportive policies that makes conditions favorable for the desired behavior change through advocacy for health and well-being.
John says the Vinci Moves program will provide access to information and resources to enable Vincentians to reach their fullest potential in health and is designed to be a comprehensive health promotion campaign that embraces the Charter of Health Promotion and utilizes all of its tenets to a vibrant, sustainable behavior change model to tackle all the risk factors of non-communicable diseases.
The program, like any other health promotion initiative, will cut across all sectors. So while the Ministry of Health, specifically the Health Promotion Unit, is the implementing partner, we will collaborate with all sectors within the public, private, and the non-governmental sector. Vinci Moves is a national initiative. It's one that we all should take ownership. It's one that we all should embrace as we tackle non-communicable diseases in St. Vincent. The implementation will expand, focusing on 4 main areas. 1, as I mentioned before, tackling non-communicable diseases, prevention at the primary and the secondary level of care. 2, promoting physical activity in workplaces, school, communities, in sporting organization, and in the form of edutainment. 3, disseminate and provide guidance on the importance of healthy lifestyle choices and how they contribute to the management and care of non-communicable diseases. And 4, the implementation of policies, standards, and guidelines to support our current activities. As I'm standing here today, I'm very honored, as I said before, to be a part of the national calendar because Vinci Moves is definitely a national agenda. As Vincentians, I encourage you to join the movement, move for more health, move to improve our health and well-being in general, and move for a better nation.
Events to be held in October include a Creative Arts Festival hosted by the Department of Culture and the Embassy of the Republic of Taiwan, a Dub Spotlight Taiwan Hairuna Formoso Creative Arts Festival, the National Dance Festival finale on October 8th at the Russell's Auditorium, the Queen of Calypso competition scheduled for October 15th, and the Junior Pan Showcase and Fun Day on October 23rd at the E.T. Joshua Tarmac. The annual Madongo Festival on Independence Day, October 27, invests SVG Everything Vinci Expo from October 24 to October 28th. The Miss SVG 2022 pageant on October 29th at the Annisville Playing Field, and the Soca Chronicles, a tribute to Raga Soca, on October 30th at the Annisville Playing Field.